Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. Alright, today I want to address a few different points and I want to just bring them all together and take several different very complicated topics in nutritional science and in bodybuilding and dieting, and I want to just bring them together into one simplistic model for you guys to understand and to take a lot of the confusion and the confusing variables out of it. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Alright, a lot of people have pointed out things to me like, hey, you talk about calories in, calories out, but a calorie is not a calorie. Protein calories are not used with the same thermic effect as carb calories or fat calories in the body. You're pointing out that fiber has calories that we're not always accounting for, but does that 50 calories a day really matter? I can't figure out how accurate the cardio calories are on the machine if I'm actually burning 200 or 300 or 400 calories. I don't know how many calories I burn during my weightlifting session. What do I do? And here is the trick to all of this, guys. It's about consistency. You don't know exactly how many calories you burn a day, period. Because you don't know the math, are not going to be able to calculate your perfect net caloric intake after thermic effect of food. But you don't have to get either one perfect to perfectly control how much fat and muscle you are gaining and losing. You need consistency. And here's what I mean by that. First off, if you're not carb cycling or doing anything that dramatically changes your scale weight due to water fluctuations all the time, which again, I advocate keeping things consistent. I don't advocate calorie cycling or carb cycling day to day for this reason. It makes it harder for you to track changes in scale weight and harder for you to track your maintenance calories. I advocate eating a certain amount of protein you need for your needs, a certain amount of fat, which I've shown for you guys in a lot of videos, and then filling the rest with carbs and staying fairly consistent in it. If you're doing that, you shouldn't see huge bounces in your scale weight all the time. It should be relatively consistent, and you can get an average throughout the week to know if your scale is going up or down and how far off you are from your maintenance calories. And the same goes for the thermic effect of these foods, guys. If you're not eating a wide variety in protein intake, the thermic effect of these different foods isn't going to matter. If you're keeping your fat and your protein fairly consistent and only manipulating carbs, you're only one variable, you only have the thermic effect of one food to worry about. And as long as you're consistent in this, that thermic effect will not impact your net results. Doesn't matter. It's when you start going, well, I'm going to eat 200 grams of protein one day and 400 another. That's when you're going to really have problems from different thermic effects of foods. So it doesn't matter that a calorie is not a calorie if you're consistent. And it's the same on the fiber intake. If you eat roughly 50 calories worth of fiber every day that you don't realize that you eat because you haven't tracked the fiber calories perfectly, but you're always off exactly 50 calories in your calculations as a result, it's not going to matter, because when you adjust something based on the scale changes, it's still going to give you the same end result. You're still going to have the same deficit or surplus that you would have even though you've miscalculated your intake because you're consistently inaccurate. So don't have huge fluctuations in fiber intake. If you eat around 30 to 40 grams of fiber a day, stick with that. Don't have weeks where you eat 200 grams of fiber, or weeks where you only eat 5 or 10, which isn't healthy, by the way. And it's the same with your training. You don't have to know how many calories you burn training. In fact, when you change training styles, you're going to have to readjust TDE based upon the scale. Just like guys who go on my novice program, notice if they've been doing a body part split, their calorie burn goes up about 10% per week due to the sheer amount of metabolic stress of my program. So they have to eat more immediately within the first 2 weeks. But as long as you're consistent in your program, and you're not changing the amount of cardio you're doing, it's not going to matter how many calories you burn, because you're going to know your average weekly TDEE based on changes in scale weight. And it's very simple, guys. If you're clean bulking and you go 2 weeks without gaining any weight, then add 10% to your calories, and mostly in the form of carbs. The same cutting. If you're cutting and you haven't lost weight in 2 weeks, cut your calories another 10%. Because remember, these things are going to be dynamic. And so it's not important for you to know exactly how many calories you burn sleeping, brushing your teeth, or doing your cardio on Wednesday. As long as you are consistent week to week and you're not adding or subtracting hours of cardio or hours of training time or physical activity that's different than what you were doing the previous weeks, it's not going to matter. As long as you're consistent, you can be inaccurate because you will be consistently inaccurate and you will still be in control of the end result by monitoring the changes in the scale weight to determine your current maintenance calories and how far off you are. It's really that simple, guys. And that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.